Listen, most men won't admit this, but it's true. They change who they are the moment they want to be chosen. They lower their voice, soften their opinions, hide their ambitions, laugh at things they don't find funny, agree when they don't agree, all for one thing, approval. But let me ask you something. What is the cost of becoming someone you're not? Just to be accepted. Because here's the brutal truth. The moment you start performing for love, you stop being respected. And the moment you start performing for love, you stop being respected. And the moment you lose respect, attraction begins to fade. This is about understanding human nature. This is about understanding you. Men change behavior to attract or keep women because of one powerful force. Fear of rejection, fear of not being enough, fear of being alone. And then you put the why. And fear, when it controls you, doesn't make you better. It makes you smaller. You see, psychologically, human beings are wired for connection. Studies show that rejection activates the same areas of the brain as physical pain. That means when a man feels like he might lose a woman, his brain literally interprets it as a threat to survival. So what does he do? He adapts, he adjusts, he negotiates his identity. But here's the danger. Adaptation can become self-abandonment. And the moment you abandon yourself, you start chasing instead of attracting. Let me paint a picture for you. At the beginning, you're confident, you speak your mind, you're focused on your goals, you're driven, you're grounded. That's what creates attraction in the first place. That's what draws her in. But then something shifts. You start thinking, what if I lose her? What if I say the wrong thing? What if I'm not enough? And suddenly you're no longer leading your life, you're reacting to hers. You text more, you over-explain, you seek reassurance, you compromise your standards. And without realizing it, you've gone from being the prize to trying to win approval. Let me ask you again, is that who you really are? Because deep down you know the answer. Real attraction is not built on perfection. It's built on certainty. It's built on presence. It's built on a man who knows who he is and doesn't negotiate that for anyone. Now listen carefully. This is where most men get it wrong. They think women are attracted to behavior, but they're not. They're attracted to energy. Behavior is just the surface. Energy is the source. You can say all the right things, do all the right things, follow every rule, but if your energy is rooted in fear, insecurity, and neediness, it will be felt. And people don't respond to what you say, they respond to what you radiate. That's why a man who is calm, grounded, and certain, without trying too hard, stands out instantly. Because in a world full of men chasing validation, he doesn't need it. And that is power. Now, I'm not telling you not to grow, I'm not telling you not to improve yourself. Growth is essential. Evolution is necessary, but there's a difference between growth and approval seeking. Growth says I'm becoming better because I respect myself. Approval seeking says I'm changing because I'm afraid you'll leave. One builds attraction, the other destroys it. Let me give you a real world insight. Research in relationship psychology consistently shows that confidence, purpose, and emotional stability rank among the most attractive traits in long-term partners, not perfection, not people. Pleasing, not constant. Agreement. Confidence.
So why do men abandon these the moment? And then you put the why. So why do men abandon these the moment they enter a relationship? Because they forget one thing. What got you there is what keeps you there.
If you had standards before, keep them. If you had goals before, pursue them. If you had boundaries before, enforce them. Because the moment you make someone else the center of your life, you lose the very qualities that made you attractive in the first place. Now let me slow this down and go deeper with you. Have you ever noticed how a man starts out bold, but over time becomes careful? He used to take risks. Now he seeks permission. He used to lead. Now he follows signals. He used to lead. Now he follows signals. He used to be decisive. Now he overthinks every move. Why? Because somewhere along the way, he made a silent agreement. I will trade my authenticity for acceptance. And that trade costs everything. Because the truth is, attraction doesn't thrive in comfort zones. It thrives in polarity, certainty, and authenticity. And when you start filtering yourself just to maintain peace, you create something dangerous, emotional dishonesty. You smile when you're frustrated. You agree when you disagree. You stay silent when you should speak. And slowly, piece by piece, you disappear. Let me ask you something powerful. If you have to become someone else to keep her, are you really being chosen? Or is it just a version of you that you created? Because that version cannot be sustained. It will crack under pressure. It will create resentment. And eventually it will collapse. Now here's another truth most men avoid. When you constantly adjust your behavior to keep someone, you actually train them to value you less. Why? Because human psychology respects what is consistent and grounded. If you're always shifting, always adapting, always trying to please, you become predictable in the worst way. Not strong, not grounded, just available, and there's a difference between being available and being valuable. Valuable people don't beg for attention, they don't chase approval, they don't abandon themselves to be liked. They stand firm in who they are and let others meet them there. Now I want to challenge a belief. Many men think if I don't change, I lose her. But what if the real truth is if you change too much, you'll lose her anyway? Because attraction cannot survive where respect is gone. And respect starts with self-respect. So how do you rebuild that? It starts with awareness. Catch yourself in those moments when you're about to say something just to impress, when you're about to agree just to avoid conflict, when you're about to agree just to avoid conflict. And in that moment, pause. Ask yourself, is this who I truly am? Or is this who I think I need to be accepted? That question alone can change your life. Now let's go even deeper. There's something called frame in psychology and communication. Your frame is how you see the world and how you position yourself in it. A weak frame says, I hope they like me. A strong frame says, I choose what aligns with me. When your frame is strong, you don't get easily shaken. You don't react emotionally to every little change. You don't react emotionally to every little change. You stay grounded. And that grounded presence is incredibly attractive because it signals something rare, emotional strength. Not aggression, not dominance, but stability. A man who is stable in his emotions, clear in his direction, and consistent in his behavior becomes someone people trust, respect, and desire to be around. Now let me give you a real world scenario. Two men are in a relationship. One constantly checks his phone, waiting for a reply. If she doesn't respond, he gets anxious, he double texts, he overthinks, he tries harder. The other continues living his life. He has purpose, he has direction. He enjoys the relationship, but he is not consumed by it. Who do you think feels more attractive energy? Who do you think creates more respect? The difference is not effort. The difference is identity. One is rooted in fear. The other is rooted in self-worth, and self-worth changes everything. When you truly value yourself, you don't tolerate disrespect. You don't overgive just to be liked. You don't chase people who are unsure about you. You choose wisely. You invest intentionally. You walk away when necessary. And walking away is one of the most powerful signals of self-respect because it says, I would rather lose you than lose myself. Now I know that's hard. I know that triggers fear. I know that challenges everything you've been conditioned. Believe. But growth is not comfortable. Transformation is not easy. And becoming a man of value requires you to face the one thing most men avoid, the fear of being alone. Because when you conquer that fear, you become free. Free to speak honestly, free to act boldly, free to live authentically. Now, let's build momentum. Imagine waking up every day knowing exactly who you are. No confusion, no overthinking, no second guessing. You walk into conversations with clarity. You express yourself without fear. You pursue your goals without distraction. And then you put the why. And in your relationships, you show up as a complete man, not someone looking to be completed. That is the shift from seeking validation to living with vision, from reacting emotionally to responding intentionally, from chasing people to attracting the right ones naturally. And here's the truth. When you become that man, everything changes. Not just your relationships, but your confidence, your career, your health, your entire life trajectory, because everything is connected. Now, I want you to feel this at your core. You were not built to beg for attention. You are not designed to live in fear of losing someone. You are not meant to shrink your identity just to be accepted. You are built to lead your life, to stand in your truth, to create a reality that reflects your highest standards. And when you do that, you don't just become attractive, you become unforgettable. So here's your moment. Right now, you can keep playing small, keep adjusting, keep seeking approval, or you can rise. You can decide today that you will no longer trade your identity for acceptance, that you will no longer abandon yourself for temporary validation, that you will no longer live in fear. Because the man you are capable of becoming does not chase. He creates, he leads, he attracts. So say, and then you put the why and up. Take a breath and make a decision. From this moment forward, you will speak with certainty. You will act with purpose. You will live with standards. You will build yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, every single day. And you will never again ask, how do I keep her? You will ask, am I living in alignment with the man I respect? Because when you are aligned, everything else falls into place. Now go out there, take massive action, and become the man who doesn't need to be chosen. Because he has already chosen himself. And that man wins